Hi guys, my name is Georgia, and today we're going to be talking about the first episode of the new K-drama You Are My Spring. You Are My Spring is a romance fantasy K-drama that follows three main characters who live with their respective 7-year-old selves in their hearts. Now from this moment forward, I'll be speaking about my thoughts on the episode, and there are going to be lots of spoilers, so if you haven't watched it, go watch it and then come back. Or if you just don't care, you can just watch my thoughts and opinion on this episode. If you like this video, subscribe and hit the like button below as I am a new channel and this will help me out a lot. So if you like my content, please support me. Okay, let's get into the video. First person we're going to be talking about is the main female character, Ka Da-jung. So the episode does a flashback to December 1944 in Seoul, Korea, when she was 7. The first scene we see is of her and her little brother fixing up the Christmas tree. Now their Christmas tree is very bare because they didn't have enough money to buy a real one. They didn't even get presents that Christmas. Their family is very poor, and the flashback gives us a look into the family dynamic. Her family is comprised of her brother, her mom, and her dad. And while her mom is very hardworking and tries to make ends meet even though they're poor, their dad doesn't do anything. He's really trash. He doesn't do anything. He drinks all day. He doesn't contribute to the family in any way. He just really abuses them and makes their life a lot worse. So their dad is trash. And this scene that I'm about to show you next really has nothing to do with her family dynamic. It was just in the flashback and I kind of want to talk about it. So I'm about to play that scene for you guys. The reason why I think that this scene is interesting and that I wanted to talk about it because not only is it adorable, I think that this is the main lead character, Ju Young Do, but as a kid. I think it's this man because in K-dramas they always do this thing where they meet each other as kids, but then like when they grow up, they don't know that they met each other as kids and they fall in love, but then they don't know that they met each other before. So I'm 99.9% sure that this man is the same kid from her flashback. Or I could be wrong. Or you could be like, Georgia, that kid was not even important. Why are you even talking about him? He had nothing to do with the story. Or you can tell me who you think this kid actually is. Okay, leave that down in the comments below if you guys have time. Back to Jadung's family situation. So one day she comes home and she hears her dad and her mom like fighting. Her dad and her mom are going at it, and the dad is like throwing stuff all over the place. He's clearly intoxicated. I don't know. He's just the worst. So she locks herself in her room with her brother, and the dad starts complaining about how they never come to greet him. Obviously, they don't because they're scared of him. And he tries to go in the room, and I'm gonna play you the scene of what the mom says because I really love her for this and I think she's amazing.
애들 다 컸는 것들이야. 죽여버릴 거니까.
그래. 어차피 네가 발목 잡은 건 죽여. 차라리 죽여.
When I first saw that scene, my first thing was like, oh, go ahead and kill him then because he's like trash. He doesn't do anything. He don't pay the bills. He don't do nothing to contribute to this family. Just kill him. He wants to die anyways. He's trash. Kill him. But then the next scene where she's cleaning up like the stuff and she looks over and then there's a knife and she picks it up. I'm like, no, I was just joking. Don't actually kill him. You're committing. I mean, I'm not against the fact her killing him. I'm just saying that she would go to jail. You're going to jail and you're the only stable parent in this family. You're the only person who can take care of this kids. Don't go to jail for this man. But then it skips the scene and it skips to them like her going into their room and telling them to pack up and they head on a bus and leave. and in the bus you can see the blood on her hands, but I don't think she actually killed him, because that could have just been from cleaning up all the broken glass and everything, and I think she just ended up running away. But if she had killed him, she would have been a convicted felon. I was like, no, don't commit a felony. Don't commit a crime over this man. I know he sucks though, but like, please don't go to jail. So that was my thoughts on the scene. I was like, stop. I didn't mean what I was saying before. Don't kill him. So fast forward in time, end of flashback. We're here with our main character, Jadong. She's moving into a new building now. She's trying to get a fresh start because we found out that all her boyfriends have been trash. She's been dating a bunch of trash. We don't know why. It has something to do with her traumatic past, why she keeps on attracting trash. And her friend's like, yeah, you better be starting new this time. Anyways, I'm happy to see her. My girl is a concierge manager, which means she's making bank. She's making a lot more money. And she's in a nice place now. Except for before she moves in, someone gets murdered there. I was literally so shocked because that's literally the third murder that we've seen. Obviously the mom might have not murdered the dad, so we're not even going to talk about that. But in the beginning of the thing, we see a man falling onto the car, and I was like, oh, murder straight out the gate. This show is probably part mystery too, and I just don't know. So that's why there's so many like mysterious things happening, but I didn't know it was a mystery, so all of this was kind of surprising when it just hit me in the face. I was like, why is all of this creepy stuff happening? I thought this was going to be a nice little romance. So I guess it's not, which is okay because it's entertaining nevertheless. Let's get into the funniest scene in this entire episode. So at this point, we've met the male lead, Youngdo, and he's moving into the same building as Jadong because he's just relocating his firm there, and we found out that he's a psychiatrist. So first of all, these two met in the most awkward way because she was on the phone, right? And he's behind her, and he thinks she's talking to him, and she was on the phone, like she had headphones in, so it was so awkward and embarrassing. I felt it through the screen. I felt so bad for him. We've all been in that situation. It's so embarrassing. But they end up having a mutual friend, so they have to eat jajang together at the roof, and he goes in her house for a split second to get something, and he picks up on all this stuff, the black cat painting and everything in her house, and is able to tell that she has trauma. So she's sitting there, and they're sitting there, and she's pestering him to tell her what he knows about her so she can see if he's really a good psychiatrist or not, or whatever. And he starts reading her. He starts saying, this is why you attract bad men, because you're trying to recreate the same traumatic situation you were as a kid, and you're trying to overcome it this time, which is never going to happen because you've never learned how to overcome it, and you keep on doing this to yourself, and that's why you attract trash people. It's not you being unlucky, you're attracting them to yourself. And I was like, you didn't have to read her like this. He literally said he would be assaulting her with the truth and just went ahead and did it. But she pressured him to do it, so I don't even feel bad. That's her fault. He said he didn't want to talk about it. She was like, I want to talk about it. So that's on her. But I was sitting there like, ooh, she was getting mad. Dang, he didn't have to do her like that though. Even though she asked, he didn't have to do her like that. Next part in the episode, we meet Chae-jun. I had to look that name up because I didn't remember his name. He's just someone who's been in love with Jadong for like 2 months, and he's been chasing her, and she doesn't want him, and her best friend doesn't understand why she would pass up such a good man's. And at first I didn't understand too. I thought he was like perfect. I thought, oh, he's actually a good person, maybe she should date him. By the end of the episode, we find out he is the exact opposite. I was surprised. I wasn't expecting all of this. I thought it was just going to be some little teensy weensy bit of jealousy like the regular K-dramas. No, this ain't like the regular ones. It's not just some regular romance. It's intense. I just did not expect all of this to happen. We'll talk about it later. Before we talk about Chae-jun and his antics, we're going to talk about Ah Ga-young. She is the ex-wife of Youngdo, and I think she's supposed to be a person that is like a love interest to Youngdo, but I'm not so sure that she's gonna pose a threat. Like, I'm not so sure that she's as important to the story, or if this is gonna be a love square, or if it's just gonna be a love triangle, because it doesn't look like she's that much interested in Youngdo anymore. They're divorced, obviously. She wouldn't be interested, so I'm not really worried about her. She seems really fun. She's famous, she's an actress. Fred and Ari say that. She seems really fun. I like her. That old lady doesn't, but I do. So I think she's gonna be a good character. Now, we're gonna talk about Chae-jun. We're gonna talk about this man because we cannot not talk about him. I thought he was gonna be so sweet and nice, but he's just gonna fight for the girl and we're gonna have second lead syndrome. No second lead syndrome here. We don't have that because he's actually crazy. And when I say actually crazy, let me show you this next clip of him in the psychiatrist's office. Oh my gosh, that scene was intense. I cannot believe it. I was like, he did not just step on his shoe. He did not just step on his shoe. I was like, oh, and then later in the scene, they were talking about how a murderer always returns to the place of his crime. So this man might actually be a murderer. Like, it's almost very much confirmed that Chae-jun is the murderer. And I am like scared now because how you gonna be in a love triangle with a murderer? So he can't really tell Jadong about all of this because since Chae-jun technically came to him as a patient, he can't disclose anything that they talked about in the psychiatrist's office, which kind of sucks. So he goes to Jadong and he tries to warn her. He's like, don't be with this man. Don't see him. And she's like, I wasn't gonna see him anyways. It kind of looks like he's claiming her for himself, which I really liked. But he's like, nah, this man ain't good news. Don't go around him. And I'm not sure if she's gonna listen to him or not because it's implied that this is going to be a love triangle. So she might still be around this man, and Yodong can't say anything. Youngdo can't say anything about it because he technically can't, or else he'll lose his license. Okay, and we're gonna talk about this next scene also because I was also floored by this next scene.
아, 그 여자죠. 소시오패스.
He did not just diagnose this man. He did not just diagnose this man. I can't wait to watch the next episode. Oh my gosh. He literally could tell that he was a sociopath, and he was like writing stuff down as he came into his office because this man is apparently just amazing psychiatrist. He just can pick up on stuff like that. But he said sociopath and he stopped. I was like, what made him a sociopath? Why is he like this? So I can't wait to see the next episode. I literally got chills when he said sociopath. I was like, are you serious? Anyways, guys, I think that's it for my review. I don't think I have anything more to say. I'll be reviewing this series. I'm planning to review this whole entire series, but I'm not so sure. If there's anything else you guys want me to review, I can review it. I do it all. K-dramas, anime, and regular American TV shows. I can watch it all. So thank you for watching this video. Tell me if you enjoyed it, like the video, and subscribe if you like it. Thank you guys. Bye.